I do agree with you though, Dragon. I think the Celeste would be a much safer pick into the Rhyme. Rhyme falls into a similar category to Baptiste to me. Is if you can outrange the Rhyme and keep your distance, that's kind of your safest bet. Now, again, we've talked about it. The boots that Pawn picks up usually allow him to get to that back line not only once, but multiple times. So that is something that you still have to keep in mind if you are going to play that backline hero.
Now, Petal, again, this is really perplexing here, Denabade, because, you know, you're talking about how Rhyme is going to be successful. And if it is a Crystal Petal again, you're really taking away a lot of those counters I think that would do better. And you don't have a Catherine this time, and you're going to need crowd control. What is the strategy? What is Team Solomid trying to execute here to beat out this Rhyme?
It's going to be tough. I do think the Petal is better in the weapon route, specifically into Rhyme, because you can get that high burst amount of damage while kiting backwards. And again, it's a rough spot for Petal because a lot of the item changes do affect her crystal path. A Churnwalker comes out, though, and Dragon, I could not be more excited right now.
Well, we did just see Churnwalker on the Cloud9 matchup. We did see Gabe Vizzle play it. I don't actually know the results. If I think Cloud9 played Churnwalker, and I believe they might have won. Gonna have to get an update on that from the guys and the viewers. But Churnwalker is very exciting, and maybe this is their their method here. Is it does allow your carries to play further back if Churnwalker's in the middle of that fight, but it does mean that you've got to build tanky really fast on Churnwalker because he's going to be in there with those hooks, helping transmit damage, but if he's dead, he's obviously not. So very important how you manage damage, how you balance it. I'd have to say, Denominate Churnwalker, very high skill cap hero as far as supports are concerned.
Yeah, definitely is a high skill cap hero, but is very rewarding if it's played correctly. It is a Lyra Kestrel that come out of Rogue, and with this Rhyme, that is a absolutely scary combination. So it is going to come down to what are we going to see out of this Petal. I think with the Churnwalker, I would like to see the Crystal Petal. Obviously, I don't want to see a Frostburn. Vansi, if you're listening, please no Frostburn. But if we can link up the targets, then Vansi doesn't actually have to commit very far. He can just get very small amounts of chip damage down by targeting that front line. It'll probably be Rhyme or Lyra, just depending on if that Arcane Passage is used, so on and so forth. But, they'll be the two primarily on the front line, and then through the actual chains, when multiple targets are linked, Petal can ramp up damage on one target with the Dragon's Eye and spread that damage to all linked targets.
Ooh, so Exceptions just told me Churnwalker's win rate is 0%. That would mean Cloud9 dropped to Tribe Gaming, which is a pretty massive upset to see that happen. And that was with them playing Churnwalker. So yeah, not a lot of success just yet. Will be crazy if Cloud9 or Team Solomid are not in tomorrow's finals for North America. That would be an unbelievable outcome.
Yeah, it would be pretty crazy, but the competition has gotten so close with several of these teams. Obviously, we see Tribe pretty consistently doing pretty well as Rogue is a team that is incredibly, incredibly talented as well. So we'll have to see going forward who it is that's going to make it through. We obviously already know Tribe has made it through. Will Rogue follow them in taking down the second set of Titans that North America has?
Interesting strategy. Flash X actually putting some chains in. He might pay for it with his life, though. Maybe going a little bit too far, having to back out. But what he does do is buy Best Chuck at an insane amount of time, taking away the backs from Rogue, and they didn't even see it.
Yeah, that was a actually really good rotation there from the side of Team Solomid. It wasn't all of the backs, but Chuck did rotate over, took a Treant away. That is going to be some additional gold, some additional experience. And now this is Pawn the Original and Hammy are in the backs. And those are going to be a couple minions now dropping in the lane that Evil is going to have to clean up since Hammy is not here to do so. So overall, I think Rogue do pick out better here. Because Best Chuck did fully recall as well. He did waste a lot of his own time.
Right.
But it's going to depend on how the game goes from here on out. Again, Churnwalker's early game is incredibly strong. So we'll have to see if Flash is able to pull it together here. We do have a link. Will we be able to find any damage? We won't.
No, just a little bit, but not much as far as just like getting some damage from Best Chuck as it is. We'll see here. Really, the pullback, it's surprisingly strong as far as how far it can pull a hero back into a fight. And that in itself is going to be a very powerful crowd control for this game. But this is going to be important to watch. I'm excited to see Flash X, one of the best supports in the game. If he can mechanically get a win here on Turnwalker, it'd be very impressive. If Gabe Vizzle couldn't do it, that tells you a lot about how difficult this hero is.
It's definitely a high skill cap hero, but it's again, the competition is so close. It's really anybody's game to win. Yes, Cloud9 fell, but they're still very comfortably at the top. So we'll have to see what they're able to do. They've already got their world spot secured, Dragon. So they're not trying to give away too much at this point. In fact, I almost would be willing to say that they're not going to be playing at their absolute full on camera, because that allows them then to hide any of their real strategies going into the World's Tournament, where we'll be playing teams from Southeast Asia, teams from South America, teams from Europe. They really don't have anything to lose here.
This is true. Of course, both teams here have a lot to lose if they don't make it to Worlds. And of course, like you said, you're right. They've got to get first place. But if Cloud9 secures first place, second place would be enough for them to get to see, I believe, right? That's how it works.
I do believe that's how it works. Now, that's not to say that it is going to be Cloud9 taking first. Obviously, we've watched them just get taken down by Tribe. This is still anybody's game for that first place spot. There are 4 weeks in split number 2 that we have ahead of us. So there's a lot of time for any of these teams to build up points. And Pon the Original having the boots out here. Vansi's on the chase, though.
Oh, but gets rooted up and takes both damage explosions from the Winter Spire. And that, you can see how quickly Vansi has to retreat after that. Going to be able to pull in this Treant here and secure that. So good job by Rogue trying to get back into this gold game. But Team Solo Mid still has the gold lead. In part due to just being down early, dude. I think interesting rotation by Rogue. By Team Solo Mid. It almost worked, but unfortunately they're still down to Rogue because they weren't able to secure quite enough farm early on. And Rogue just does a good job at balancing their waves and rotations.
Yeah, and not to mention that Pon is probably one of the better Rhyme players. Before Rhyme was OP. I mean, Rhyme's really, really strong right now due to the changes. But this is a hero that he's been comfortable on for quite some time, when many considered him fairly unviable. And now Pon has found a Von C.
He really has. Oh my goodness. Almost getting the kill here. Almost jumping in. Von C so low. But now Flash X able to keep his teammate alive, just barely. There's no fountains built just yet. Actually, Evol going with a Crucible first.
Yeah, that Crucible first on Lyra is definitely helpful because it does, it does raise the healing of your Imperial Sigil due to the health changes of both items and Lyra's base health. She's a little bit more sustainable on the front line, as well as with that Crucible now having even more health to it. It does allow those heals to be even bigger. It's not a massive amount of health increase on that Crucible, but hey, 150 is still 150.
Yeah, absolutely. As they look to move in here, add to the lane, and try to get this lane pushed up again. Best Chuck at A continues to take glimmer shots. So he's actually at 3/4 health. And Flash X, just an unbelievable job harassing. If anything, has done a good job at just kind of getting in the face of Rogue, although it hasn't resulted in anything substantial just yet. They're going to try to find Kestrel here. Hammy backs away, does a good job at retreating. There comes the Valkyrie as Pon the Original hit level 6, goes in, but he's taking too much damage. It actually looks like Pon the Original, oh, nice job by Flash, gets the stun, and that is going to be a lockup as Pon the Original is taken out. That's first blood going over to Von C, exactly who you wanted to give that first blood over.
Yeah, Best Chuck does have the poison shift complete. It is a Frostburn again from Von C, so we'll have to see how that works out for him this time around. Obviously, it will still provide the slow on the seed explosions if they do walk into it, but it is not the most optimal situation to be in for a pedal, at least. You're not able to get the chase the same way that you used to. So we'll have to see, how he ends up playing this one out. Flash in that last fight had a beautiful trespass. You mentioned it with the stun, not only going on upon the original, but he also positioned himself in a point that it allowed him to zone out Hammy. Hammy was very low, and if Hammy committed back up, hold on, Pon is getting stunned up again.
Wow, Flash X is showing you how to play Churnrocker right now. Unbelievable. He's been able to execute his ultimate twice in a row, get those stuns, and that's really been just shutting Pon the original down.
Yeah, he's been doing an absolute great job doing so. The trespass coming out of Flash has been absolutely on point every single time it's been needed. And now Evil maybe looking to come down and steal away this gold mine. One shot, one kill, just going to nick Flash, not going to get really anything out of it. That is now TSM for the first time getting a gold lead here over Rogue. Flash doing such a good job on this Churnwalker with the actual hook and chain. He's been incredibly accurate with it. The timings on the trespass has been pretty beautiful, if I might say so myself.
Oh, it really has. He's been nailing it 2 times in a row, and both resulting in a kill on Pon the original, who we saw was just almost unkillable last game. So really, really impressed.
Absolutely, and now as we get back into the lane, the turret for the side of Team Solo Mid is in a pretty hurt condition, whereas Rogue's is still nearly full health. The hook and chain coming out of Flash there. If you do land that on a target, it does immediately reset the cooldown, allowing you to link up additional targets in quick succession. The Bright Bulwark is now down to prevent any further aggression from Team Solo Mid. Those Glimmer Shots not quite packing the punch that they will in the late game quite yet, with just a Tornado Trigger and a Sorrow Blade built. But, TSM, Vancey's coming back up. They're looking for something, and Rogue is pushed really far forward here.
They are pushed really far forward, but Team Solo Mid's looking for the fight. Valkyrie lands, gets a stun, but they're able to get out of it and block out. And actually now it's going to be, oh my goodness, 2-man stun with the trespass from Churnwalker. They might have found Hammy. The damage is actually passing through, but there's a nice heal from the Sigil. And now they're turning their attention back on. It's actually Best, Chuckadee, and Flash, who are very close, but they find the kill onto Hammy. Pon the original is way too low to go back into this fight. Oh, he gets found by Von C, and there's going to be another kill. It's just Evol left, and he's got nowhere to go as they dive underneath this turret looking for this final kill. Von C is going to be able to jump over and find it here as, oh wow, actually, maybe not. As Evol actually sneaks around the turret and is, oh my goodness, and saves the kill. Does not get the 3 kill. What an incredible portal by Evol.
Absolutely beautiful. I thought that hook and chain was going to cancel it out, but it just didn't reach in time. Evol, you are a legend. That was such a beautiful play, not giving up an additional kill to TSM. And this is kind of a little bit opposite of what we saw last game, Dragon. Last game, it was Rogue that pulled a clean victory over TSM with a 9-0 by the end. Right now, it's TSM up 4-0 right now, really using Churnwalker's early game to the advantage that they can. And Flash, obviously knowing that Hammy is going to be one of the biggest damage threats to him, has gone ahead and picked up a Metal Jacket. He's going to be able to soak up those Glimmer Shots for his team while getting the enemies chained down as well so they can pass that damage on. It does lower some of your burst, but it does put it through onto multiple targets. So it almost makes your whole team, even though they're focusing one target, they essentially have a midgetated AoE potential.
Yeah, absolutely. It basically allows you to just kind of get in and just do so much damage so quickly. But Von C gets blown up here as Rogue looks to go in. There is the Valkyrie, a little bit more sustained here to try to keep Hammy alive as the fountain was used. And that's going to be 2 kills going over for Rogue. Flash X has to scurry away as fast as he can, as he is unable to deal really any damage at this point. He's tanky enough, but he's not going to be able to survive if he gets ganged up here. He goes in, tries to just stop this turret take, but he's not going to be able to find it. And now he's actually exposed here. He's going to try to run away and doesn't want to, of course, give it up. All the while, Pon the original is going to be taking out this gold miner here. So a turret and a gold mine for Rogue is going to net them a massive amount of gold and actually bring them back in line with Team Solo Mid, who otherwise had the lead.
Yeah, Von C unfortunately did drop very early on in that fight, and that's kind of the power of the Rhyme if you're able to help lock down a target, especially if that trampoline is already used. It's almost like having that pedal rooted for just that much longer, as he doesn't have that additional mobility to get out of the fight. And overall, like you mentioned, that gold mine and the turret take did bring it almost almost directly even on the gold. I mean, there's a very minuscule advantage on the side of TSM right now. Von C, obviously going that Frostburn first, now has the Broken Myth for his second item. Best Chuck with the Sorrow Blade and the Poison Shiv is going to start to have some sustainable damage and sustainable healing in these fights. But as Pon the Original gets tankier, as Hammy gets into that fourth offensive item, it is going to be a little bit more difficult for TSM to make these engages the way that they have been. And that is going to be a Crystal Sentry now for TSM.
Absolutely. Another nice take as Team Solomid looking to try to get back into this game. But they might have given up a turret here, and they might have not been a good idea here. Look at this. Rogue just absolutely decimates this. Lyra jumps over. They're trying to reposition the fight. They blow up Von C. No, he gets away, but the Valkyrie catches him out. Team Solomid just trying to survive this fight here. Von C drops. And now they're turning their attention onto Flash X. Hammy's very low. He's got to be careful here, but Flash X gets killed as you see Hammy find it finally. And now Rogue, they're just all diving all the way. Oh my goodness, Pon the Original goes all the way to the backside of it into the Sanctuary and trying to find the kill onto Best Chuck at A. He's not going to find it. Now he's actually at risk of going down.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's trapped in a bad spot. Now it is Rogue way low. No, Best Chuck steps into an active camo. He does find Hammy, but he gives up his life for it. And at this point in the game, a trade is going to be in favor of Rogue. They are now up about 1.5k gold, so still not a huge advantage, but it's unfortunately not going to be the most optimal situation for Team Solo Mid to be able to use Churnwalker's chains to their maximum effect until Best Chuck has the Broken Myth or Breaking Point complete. He does now, as well as an infusion. So now he'll actually be ramping up on whatever target he's on, which over time will add up additional damage onto the enemies as well. So that to me is a win all in its own.
Yeah, absolutely. Rogue is going to try to take this gold miner here as they've started to actually build a gold lead. But here comes Team Solo Mid. They're rotating down. They find it. Will they be able to secure this away? The gold miner's so low. The fight's going to engage. Just a Lyra portal jumps on, but it's actually Von C who gets it. Is he going to pay for it with his life? He just barely escapes. One more shot from Hammy. That's going to do the trick, though, as they get the kill. Now it's 3v2. Flash X, he's caught in an awkward position. Best Truck's trying to stay in the back line and channel some of that damage using the chains, but it's not going to work. Flash X now is going to be the final target as Flash X falls, and that's an ace. And Rogue have just turned this back around as after Team Solo Mid looked to try to take the initiative in the early part of the game. And it looks like Rogue can't make up their mind what they want to do here. But they are going to go into the jungle of Team Solo Mid. Oh, they're just waiting for the Kraken at this point. So they're not even going to go for it. They do get the ace, but it is going to be a Kraken to start as they're going to push behind that.
Yeah, and now with the entire side of TSM back up, they're not going to be able to make it in time. This is going to be a free Kraken going over to Rogue, and without the weapon power Jewel, they're not going to be able to take this Kraken down as quickly as they did during the last game. So I think Rogue actually has a incredibly strong push ahead of them. Hammy has gone with a tension bow now, and that's going to give him some additional armor breaker, some of that armor pierce to help get through that metal jacket that Flash has complete. The Dragon's Eye is complete for Von C, so he will start to ramp up in these fights. But unfortunately, we just haven't been able to see that single target damage because Churnwalker is splitting it up a bit.
Yeah, he is trying to get in there. We just haven't seen Churnwalker's, like you said, the effectiveness that comes out of having those multiple chains. It really hasn't proven to be a difference maker here. The heal from Lyra has been absolutely phenomenal at keeping Evil and Hammy alive. Sorry, Pon the Original and Hammy alive. We are seeing Flash X just poking those chains in here and there, but Kraken's still pushing and still fairly strong as far as health is concerned. Now Rogue's looking to go push in even further. They're into the Sanctuary, poking away Flash X. He's low, but there is a Ultimate from Flash gets a stun, but it's not going to make a huge difference as Rogue still max full health. They do find the kill on the Hammy, and now they turn their attention onto Lyra and Pon the Original. Pon the Original trying to get out of here, but he's got caught, and he is likely going to go down, but not without a fight as he turns his attention here, trying to build up some of that damage. Kraken gets all but one turret, and they do not get the ace. So Team Solo Mid gets 2 kills. Not a bad look for Rogue Denominate, because now you're sitting there, you have one more turret to go through, and it's going to be a while before Team Solo Mid can kind of push into your last turret, into your next turret.
Yeah, definitely a comfortable spot for Rogue to be in. The gold has been incredibly even this entire game, and it is, you know, as far as the objectives go, it is a huge favor to Rogue, but even with all those turrets taken, they are still behind in gold at this point. Not by much, but by some. And that is important to make note of here. Hammy is approaching his full build as well. He will likely infuse before he upgrades the boots all the way. And it might be TSM trying to set up a sneaky play here.
They were thinking about it, but Rogue actually just disengaged. They are not interested in wavering through the jungle without some vision. Evil picks up some flares, or had some flares ready to go, so they'll be able to spot out potentially any of Team Solo Mid's sneaky surprise attacks here as they keep moving in. They're actually just going to push in through the lane. There's the vision. Team Solo Mid is found out, and Rogue's going to actually jump in. There's the Lyra portal, moves in. They're going after Von C. Von C's very low, but there is the ultimate from Flash X. Gets that kill. And of course, it is going to be a trade 1v1. Evil is going to have to back away. It's Pon the Original moving on to Best Chuck, but this is where Churdwalker is so good, as being able to pull you away from your hero once he's got a chain on you and redirect you just a little bit. There's still a lot of fortified health on Pon the Original as he's looking to just kind of stay in here. Here comes another heal from Lyra, but there's another stun from the ultimate from Flash, and Pon the Original now has to be careful. He keeps getting pushed around. Pon the Original now just trying to find something here, but he's so low. And Best Truck at A, look at that, 10, 11 breaking point stacks. There's just nothing that Rhyme can do at that point. That's going to be another kill over to Team Solo Mid. And this game is starting to look closer and closer between these two teams to nominate.
Oh, it absolutely is looking absolutely amazing for both of these teams, actually. They're really bringing out everything at this point. Obviously, with Worlds on the line, and neither of these teams having a spot secured, they both need the victory today so they could potentially get a maximum of 6 more points tomorrow, which would, really jump them up. Obviously, with Cloud9 off the table, they are the team that has been, the most consistently dominant as far as Split 1 went. They were sitting up comfortably at the top. They are out on day 1 this weekend. So Tribe, TSM, and Rogue all have an incredible opportunity to get a massive amount of points this week without having to take down that number 1 team again.
Yeah, and this would be huge. Now, it is going to be a Kraken for Team Solo Mid. So now they're going to be pushing up onto Rogue, but the game has gone a lot longer, so these death timers are much more impactful. If you start losing some of the and getting kills here in the fight, we'll see how Rogue responds. They have that portal, which has been a fantastic engage, but they haven't been able to take down Von C fast enough. And Flash X able to chain up all of Rogue very quickly and then get one of those stuns from his ultimate, which has been very effective at holding Rogue back just a few seconds. We'll see how it goes. They're going to get that first turret, and now they're moving on to the last lane turret as Team Solo Mid and Rogue are all full health, but Kraken right at about half health here at this point. So should be able to get one more turret. We'll see how aggressive Rogue looks to go in here. Those Winter Spires really being used just so much as a poking to kind of get in there. There's only 2 items. Pon not building any more offense on the Rhyme. Doesn't feel like he needs it. This is going to be the last turret as the Kraken will fall. And now just 1 turret advantage for Rogue. Team Solo Mid really evening up this game and taking a gold lead back.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job holding in here long enough for Best Chuck to ramp up on this build. He does now have the Aegis, the Halcyon Chargers, as well as the Metal Jacket complete, so he will be able to sustain a little bit easier now. And as they split some more ambient gold here in the back for Von C and Chuck to get their additional infusion, Chuck to get an infusion, and Von C likely to upgrade some boots, maybe get some shielding as well. It's a rough spot for the side of Rogue because TSM has been doing a good job finding these later game fights.
A lot of vision cleared out by Rogue. You can just see Flash X has been planting so much vision here, just trying to make sure they can keep an eye on Rogue with that contraption here. That's something that Flash really loves. Used to be very anti-vision, didn't like spending the money, but with contraption, you get so much out of it. I feel like it's really changed how he approaches vision in these games over the last year, really. It's been an interesting change. Maybe one that a lot of people may not realize. Used to be very few scout traps from Flash over a year ago. Rogue now, though, they're looking to move into Team Solobid's jungle. They do get vision on the Team Solobid. There is the awareness, but I don't think they're ready to fight just yet. And it's going to allow Team Solobid to go down and shop. There's an infusion being picked up. And now we'll see as they move actually to the Lade. Looking to try to maybe split up Team Solobid here. Get very cautious. Both teams, they know how much is on the line. Kraken spawns. So the next fight, depending on who wins, we'll likely get a shot at Kraken as well.
Yeah, absolutely going to be a big objective there on the map, unless if one of these teams can find an ace. If they can find an ace, both of them should have the damage off the back of it and the long death timers right now that they could potentially just push in and end the game. Best Chuck, obviously at full build. Von C, not too far behind, has 2,700 gold in his pocket, is going to have to shop as soon as possible. And it is just going to be Rogue up in that top bush. They were looking for an opportunity to maybe get a pick onto Best Chuck. They didn't take one. They were waiting for that arcane passage. It just now came up a second ago. They weren't able to find what they were looking for, but they are now in TSM's jungle. Might be looking to get a little bit better positioning here.
They are looking to reposition. They actually were looking to possibly maybe backdoor. There's just too much vision by Team Solobid, so unfortunately weren't even able to get a Crystal Sentry out of that. Although they did kind of quickly look, but really smart decision making by Rogue to understand how much time they have in each decision before they can commit and not commit. And it's actually resulted in not giving up needless kills for the most part. You do see a nice job using the sigil as some vision here. Just to keep an eye on it. A lot of the vision that is on Rogue's side has been cleared out, but there's so much vision on the side of Team Solobid's jungle, as well as the lane, that Rogue won't be able to get very far without Team Solobid knowing about it.
Yeah, definitely won't be able to, but Von C finally selling the flask 24 minutes into this game has now picked up a Eve of Harvest for his 4th offensive item, and will be looking to ramp up in these fights. Obviously, we will, with the Frostburn, still get a slow if he uses that spontaneous combustion, which could help Best Chuck and Flash stay in a good kill range and keep those chains active. And, again, Best Chuck, with these 3 offensive items, is going to take time in the fight to scale up. It's not the brunt force damage that Hammy has with this 4-item offensive critical build coming onto Kestrel. And 25 minutes in this game, both teams being incredibly careful right now. Vision all over the place for both teams. Best Chuck tries to get a couple stacks of breaking point there, but not quite going to be enough for them to follow up through on it.
Yeah, Rogue going to have to go up and just, again, they've done a good job at keeping this lane pushed up. They really don't want it to move into their side of the map. And then, of course, allows them to rotate. They're going to Warhorns in. They're actually looking to go down on the bottom. Again, they're just looking for ways to backdoor, but they can't. There's just too much vision. This is all thanks to Flash X. He's done such a good job. He's been able to spot out every attempt that Rogue has had to try to rush the base.
Yeah, and, again, you mentioned it earlier. This is something that, a year ago we would not have expected from Flash. He was saying vision is not needed. You just get your fountain early and then keep a demanding lead. Now, with, again, the usefulness of this contraption, giving some additional cooldown speed, giving the health, we obviously, with the health buffs onto all items that give health, that is something to make note of too. So just provides him some additional tankiness on that front line, lets him put down vision for essentially free. I mean, you have to put down a lot of vision to cover the complete cost of the contraption, but every scout trap you put down just makes your contraption a little bit more worth it.
Yeah, and you see he's actually buying scout traps to also allow him to lay down map vision even faster. And it's just, you can see it's just unbelievably wrecking Rogue's attempt to try to be sneaky. There's nothing they can really do, and he's definitely bought that contraption 3 times over with the amount of use he's gotten out of it.
Yeah, definitely been a valuable item, as now TSM is looking to find any fight they can, but it's just disengage after disengage out of Rogue, and then when Rogue finds a fight that they want, it is TSM just disengaging as well, and now it is going to be Rogue is committing to this backdoor attempt. Here they go, TSM is back. This is going to be fun, Dragonborn.
Oh, but they might have caught, although Pawn the Original couldn't get through the portal for whatever reason, and unfortunately had to run away, almost getting caught out. They're going to clear a lot of vision here, but that was very risky for Rogue. Team Solo Mid spotted that out and said, nope, not happening. Now they're actually looking to try to wedge right in between the jungle of Rogue to try to find something here. It's going to expose this Kraken, and they're actually probably going to think about starting it. We're at 27 minutes. It's just been about 10 minutes of back and forth disengage. So not a lot of actions. We've been sitting at 9 kills apiece for both teams for quite some time.
Yeah, it's been absolutely crazy. We've been sitting at 9 kills for the longest. Gold is still essentially dead even. All of these builds getting very close. Pawn the Original with 2 sets of boots is going to be looking to help the team engage as well as keep his own engage potential up. And, again, all items that give you health do have a bit of a buff here. So those War Treads will give that additional health over to Rhyme as well, allow him to be even that much more sustainable in these fights, as Von C now is going to have to reinfuse with this 500 gold he has in his pocket. There it is. And at best, Chuck, half of an infusion left, might be thinking about reinfusing here very shortly, too.
Yeah, he's going to be pushed out from the lane. This is something Rogue has not done, is be able to secure the jungle shop, forcing recalls from Team Solo Mid. That vision has allowed Team Solo Mid to continually move into the jungle shop for positioning as far as getting some vision, picking up infusions. You see Flash X are able to keep shopping and get scout traps. So many scout traps, and they've been, really a lot of them have been pushed away. You're going to see a small engagement. Team Solo Mid just eyeing it, but they're not going to fully commit. And now they're backing away as well. And Rogue finds something. There's just neither team wants to team fight at this point. They're so afraid of what one kill will do. And as we get later and later, one kill will become even more impactful. Those death timers are getting very long.
Yeah, absolutely. The next team to win a fight essentially should win the game at this point, Dragonborn. Here comes Rogue. The War Treads are popped, and TSM is on the chase as well.
They are evolved from the backside. He gets pulled in. He's dropping very low, but there's a Valkyrie. It does catch. There's some slow, but it's going to be actually Evol dropping. And now, Team Solo Mid, they may have found their fight. This was just so risky by Rogue to try to find this kill. They find Hammy, and now Pawn the Original. He's running for his life, but he is likely going to fall. And now Team Solo Mid may have gotten themselves game number 2.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like a TSM game here. There's nothing that Rogue is going to be able to do in time to stop this. TSM, going to clear out these minions as they know they'll probably need the Ace Wave coming up with them to clear this one out. 25 seconds on Evol, 30 seconds on Hammy, 40 seconds on Pawn the Original. This, by all means, should be a TSM game, and it is looking to be so. They're splitting the damage on the turrets just to make sure that doesn't tick Hammy out enough in time. And that is going to be TSM taking game number 2, and that's going to push us into game number 3, Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, this matchup, I've really got to say, Denabade, we talked about how important it was. We talked about how close these two teams were. I'm not surprised at all that it went to 3 games. I really felt like it could, and you could see it right here, just how close they fought. They both knew the capability. There was just so much respect on what each team could do that it went 30 games, but really there was about 10 minutes of just very little action as teams really tried not to give away the game to the other team with a bad team fight. And honestly, Rogue, probably just getting tired, really felt like they could try to get in there fast.